Jason, what led to the comeback, and why did you think you just couldn't quite finish it? I think you were up. Jet hit the three to put you ahead, then Moose put you ahead one more time. But they came back with that 9-0 run. Do you think the guys, Coach Casey just said both teams were gassed, he thought?
Yeah, I thought both teams played their heart out. There in that second half, we, made a run and gave ourselves an opportunity. We fought, we always talk about, the little things. And for us, when we look at this, it comes down to just free throws. It's not that hard. We don't need to overanalyze this. We got to the stripe, and we just couldn't capitalize on that. And so it was a well-fought, series. Both teams played as hard as they could, and Toronto was the better team.
Giannis, 47 minutes. Was it just something, hey, he can rest in the summer? You always joke about, hey, I'm going to play him 48 minutes. But tonight, you did.
Yeah, the opportunity presented itself, and we played him as much as we could. And I thought he caused a problem out there while he was on the floor. Again, we were down, and those guys that played in that second half fought. It was a great character game. Again, we take the lead when most people thought, the game was over, and that just shows, that they are maturing and that they didn't give up. And I thought, again, the crowd was great tonight. They stayed with us for 48 minutes, and those guys were tired. Both teams were tired, and we just couldn't get the shots to go down when we needed to, and we couldn't get a stop when we needed one.
In that fourth quarter, it just seemed like Jet and Delly were everywhere. They were 94 feet going the whole way. What did it mean to have those two guys kind of bring you back? Because all year we've talked about how they're the leaders and they're the guys that show these young guys the way. Yeah,
I thought, again, we talked about it before the game. Delly and Jet have been in this position before, and they're not scared. And, I thought they were everywhere causing havoc, and I think they were great leaders. Not just in tonight's game, but throughout the whole season, to understand the fight to the end. And that's who Delly is, and that's who Jet is. And Jet, had missed some threes early, but again, for our younger guys to understand what it means not to be scared. And he stepped up to the plate and knocked down a shot that gave us the lead. But, the thing about Jet and Delly, they're winners, and hopefully that will help with our culture as we go forward.
Jason, can you describe what it's like when your team is down 25, what that was like on the bench? What do you tell those guys in that instance, and what are there players who step up and take charge in that case?
Yeah, the one thing I said over and over and when we were down, it's going to hurt if you want to win. And I think they understood that after the game, what that comment meant in that second half, and I continue to say it as we came back. It's going to hurt. So just accept the pain if you want to win. If you don't want to accept the pain, then sit here on the bench and we'll put someone else in. And those guys kept rising to the occasion. They were exhausted, as we talked about, and it hurt. But it hurts to win in this league. And those guys responded in a class act, and they fought all year, not just in Game 6, but throughout the season. Who's been here following us? These guys never give up, and this is a perfect example of that.
Coach Thon started the game with 4 blocks, getting the crowd riled up. Do you feel like you guys lost momentum when he was out of the game and Henson was in there, or do you attribute that more to missed shots? Yeah,
I think Thon got us off to a great start. Again, they're a team that's going to put a lot of pressure on you defensively with DeRozan and Lowry, and I thought Henson did a really good job for us. I thought Moose did too. Again, we had an opportunity there. We brought Thon back in, and DeRozan gets to the basket. Unfortunately, we just couldn't keep him down in the corner. But I thought for this series, for our younger players, this was a great learning experience, and I thought Thon took full advantage of it, and it's just going to make him better going forward.
Coach, you didn't play Brogdon much toward the end. Did you feel that he just didn't have it with it? I know you mentioned about guys maybe being a little scared tonight, the younger guys. He had a great season, but what was his struggles tonight? Because it seemed like he just didn't have it.
Yeah, he didn't have a good game. It happens, but the beauty of it is he has teammates, and Jet and Delly picked him up. and understanding that it's not always going to be perfect, and that's why you are a team. It's not just one guy. And those guys who were in there picked them up tonight and gave us the opportunity to win. And the next time, as I told them after the game, it's going to be your turn to pick up somebody, next season, and just understand this situation and how you feel. We all want to do better, but I think for him, this is a great learning tool when things aren't going well for one of your teammates that you can help by stepping in and picking up the slack.
Jason, that last sequence, DeRozan missed a free throw. I think Giannis drove, or the clock was running down. You guys didn't have timeouts left. So would you rather he kick it out? I mean, it was kind of a tough situation with the clock there as well, not knowing if you would have time to foul and maybe get it back one more time.
Yeah, it's just time and score, just being in that position, understanding he can't wait. He's got to go to score it, or we got to find a three, or he's got to shoot a three. Because at that point, without timeouts, understanding they're going to take the ball out, and we got to foul. The time, we need more time on the clock, and understanding that when you're in that situation, and he hasn't been in that situation, so this is a lesson learned for him.
So much of that fourth quarter was kind of a scramble, but you do have one possession where it ends in that Middleton heave on the right wing. What was the look on that play? I think it was one of the few times you guys were actually able to kind of settle down and try to make a play.
Which one? The one that he tried to draw the foul?
Yep.
The air ball?
Yep.
That's Chris, for a lot of our younger players is understanding. I think he's trying to get a foul there, and, you got to go with the player's thought. We trust Chris. Foul wasn't called, understanding. You got to, somehow the whistle has to blow, and it doesn't, and it turns out to be a bad shot, for us. But the thing is, there's a lot of good stuff that came out of here, even with that shot, just the creativity of thinking of trying to draw the foul to get to the, free throw line. Again, I thought we got to the free throw line. We just got to do a better job when we get there.
I guess going back to Giannis, 47 minutes for him tonight. What does it mean that you have a guy like that can give you 47 minutes, ends up covering DeRozan, I think, for pretty much the entirety of the fourth quarter? What does that mean for your franchise?
I assess the tone for next year that we can play him 48 minutes. I assess the bar. Why wouldn't it? Understanding at this time, what the game means, there is no tomorrow, we got to do everything just to get to tomorrow. So if he had to play 48 minutes, if he had to play overtime, that's what he'll do. We're not trying to kill him, but that's what he means to the team and what he means to us on the floor. Again, I thought he did a lot of great things in this series, and again, he's only going to get better. Thanks.